This is Beyond the Moon, a Ditch Witch podcast where we dig deep into news, job site stories, Ditch Witch culture, and all the other dirt that makes up the industry.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Moon, a Ditch Witch podcast. I'm your host, Sean Hubbard. I'm with Justin Simon today, and Justin is, I think, the only person at the couple thousand employee level company of Ditch Witch that we're trying to put out of work. I know that doesn't make any sense to Justin right now, but we'll get into that. How are you, Justin?
I'm great. How are you, Sean?
Good. So, Justin, I'm terrible with titles, but I think, give me your title real quick.
Manager of Customer Support and Service.
Manager of Customer Support and Service. So when I was jokingly saying we're trying to put you out of work is, if people aren't having issues in the field, they're not calling Justin, right? So we don't want you working all that much.
Right.
That's what I was getting at. Yeah. So we'll dive into that, his job responsibilities. But first, a personal touch about Justin is probably the biggest OSU fan I've ever met in my life.
That makes me feel real special, Sean. I appreciate that.
Good, yeah,
especially
no doubt.
coming from a KU guy.
That's right. So we've had our battles back and forth, our personal battles during basketball more so than football because it's been a little bit one-sided.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping you can talk about a particular article of clothing that you have, a piece of apparel. So just a little backstory. We had I've got a little setup downstairs at my house where some folks come over and we watch football games. I think it was Bedlam, OSU versus OU. And we have some OU friends, I guess. Corey Bales specifically comes over.
We tolerate him.
Yeah. He can come over and hang out, but not overstay his welcome for sure.
Right.
So Bedlam this last year, OSU and OU playing football. You showed up in what?
Orange, probably early '80s blazer.
Yeah. So where did that come from? Let's talk about that. Have you had that forever, or where did that come from?
I've had that for about 12 years. It came from a thrift store, and that was the best thrift store find I have ever had.
Was it in Stillwater?
Yes.
I can't believe somebody got rid of that thing.
Yes. Kind of use it both ways because obviously orange Ditch Witch, orange Oklahoma State.
Right.
So I wear it to conferences every once in a while, and it's a big hit.
I have seen you walking around one of the conference areas with it on. Yeah, it draws some attention for sure. So tailgating at OSU games is always a good time. Do you wear that thing during tailgates? What kind of response do you get from it?
Well, very positive response, especially when it's in Stillwater, Oklahoma.
Right.
But I have wore it to Norman, Oklahoma, and I've gotten both good response and bad.
I was wondering if it came back just that solid orange or if you had some stains on it from maybe something getting thrown at you.
Well, they respect it. I mean,
that's good.
They give me crap about it at first, but then they respect it.
So are you going to miss OU when they head off, or now that they've headed off to the SEC?
I'm not going to miss them. But I'll have to pick a different team to wear the blazer with.
That's right.
Is it Utah or who is it?
Yeah, as long as it's not Kansas.
Exactly.
We need some red and blue stuff.
There you go.
So, let's hop into it. Justin, how long have you been at Ditch Witch? What was your first role when you got there? And just kind of walk through your career path at Ditch Witch.
Yeah, it'd be 20 years. I've been with the company for 20 total. I first started in assembly.
Okay.
And then I went to go and had a girl and moved to Kentucky, and I went to go work at a Ditch Witch dealership for Ditch Witch of Kentucky as a technician, road tech for 1 full year. And I knew that when I did that I was going to get a lot of experience because I knew I was coming back home.
Right.
Home is Stillwater. Home is the factory at Ditch Witch. And really good experience being there at the dealership for 1 full year.
Sure.
And came back, worked in assembly for another 5 or 6 years. Then the job posting opened up for a quality department. I worked in the quality department for around 5 years.
Okay.
And
what does that mean? The quality department. I mean, I understand what the word quality means, but what's entailed within a quality department?
So I was a quality department over our directional drills.
Okay.
And whenever we had an issue on the assembly line, when it comes to a supplier part problem or a fit up problem, or product support would always tell us that they have issues with this, always leaking or always being a problem, we would address it internally through the manufacturing process.
Okay.
And so I did that for about 5 years, and it was good. A lot of good quality control actions that we put in place, but it was a good experience.
Right. And then from there?
From there was a job posting open up in product support.
Okay.
And, travel was always, do you want to travel? Do you want to not? You got a kid. I just went ahead and took the leap of faith and went into product support.
Is there a lot of travel?
Yeah, it used to be a lot more than it is today. But the worst case, you're probably looking at 8 weeks to 10 weeks a year.
Right.
Not too bad. When I first started in 2016, it was like once a month. You were always gone.
Right.
It also depends.
Always
on
really fun places too, right? I'm sure just like vacation spots.
Yeah. I have never been to Hawaii yet.
Not yet.
Of course, there's drilling in Hawaii, but nobody invites me.
Dang, that's weird.
So
we'll have to talk to some people about that.
Yeah. But no, and it just also depends on the customer needs.
Okay.
The dealer and the customer needs on how much we travel. But so product support since 2016.
Okay.
And been there. So we're looking at 8 years in product support.
So how many is on that team, the product support team at Ditch Witch?
There is 12 total.
Okay. And you guys do strictly Orange Iron, or do you dabble in any of the other brands that we have?
We're pretty much about 95% Orange Iron.
Okay.
We do hammerhead moles.
Oh, okay.
We support the moles side of it. And we also support self-service warranty on the Yanmar and Kubota engines.
Oh, okay.
So they don't have to go.
So
our
all
dealerships,
components, right?
Yeah, our dealerships don't have to go to Yanmar or Kubota to help get warranty and technical support.
How does that all work? You've got a team of 12 sitting in Perry, Oklahoma. When does their phone ring? Or if there is somebody in Hawaii that is down, like what should they do, and how does product support get involved in that process?
So 11 of them are in Perry.
Okay.
The 12th one is actually in Barcelona, Spain.
I got you. Who's that?
Santiago.
Santiago. Shout out.
Yeah,
Barcelona.
There you go.
Yeah.
He's on the same time zone with Europe. Really helps our European market out tremendously with technical support.
Okay.
But usually when a customer has a problem or a warranty issue, it's handled by our dealership. And our dealership network worldwide takes care of the customer. Sometimes we're in contact direct with the customer, but most of the time it's the dealerships calling us and going, hey, I can't figure this out.
I got you.
I need some help.
So that's the normal protocol. We don't necessarily want customers calling us, right? Their first point of contact is the dealership.
Correct.
So you guys talk to dealerships all the time.
Yes.
So that seems like you're a glutton for punishment, like a product support person. I mean, does anybody ever call you just to say hi or have some good news they want to share?
Well, from time to time, the dealership management says they're going to. Just call and give us some positive stuff.
Right.
But I'm still waiting on those phone
gotcha.
calls, because all the time I get called about it's usually, unless it's, you build relationships with these dealership employees, and sometimes we have fun conversations on the weekends or the evenings. But I'm still waiting on the weekday and in the work time to get a positive phone call.
8 to 5. You hear that? Any dealers out there that feel like they need to have some uplifting spirit? Justin Simon could use it back in the factory.
Amen.
So that was weird. I just called you Justin Simon. I've done that twice. What's the breakdown of people that call you Justin versus people that call you Simon? It's hard for me to say Justin.
Yeah, it's one of them high school football things, right?
Yeah.
You just put your last name on the helmet on a piece of tape.
Simon.
So that's why you hear a lot of those guys I went to school with. And coaches, and so
I didn't know your name was Justin forever. I think the first several years it's like, hey Simon, what's Simon doing? But anyways, that just a random thought by me. So okay, back to product support. What are some of are there more common calls that you get, or is it wildly different every day? Like just if you had 2 or 3 that kind of stick out as like, oh, this is something that it's a fairly, I don't want to call it a simple fix, but just something that is somewhat ordinary in your day to day.
Yeah, I would say the most common call that we get is electrical calls, just technical electrical, because a lot of things are more electric over hydraulic than they were 20 years ago, 15 years ago. You're talking a lot of software driven stuff now. So I would say majority of our phone calls, common calls, are electrical. To troubleshoot electric.
Can you handle all of those, most of those over the phone? I mean, how does that work? It seems like your position would be something that you would need your expertise on the ground, on the job site, figuring that out. And that's probably where that travel comes into. But when it's just a quick fix, how difficult is it to diagnose a problem and fix it remotely?
It can be, especially when you got to make sure you get all the steps that have been done communicated to you. Because if you don't, then you may be starting at ground zero and it takes forever. And you may not be able to resolve it. You may have to, like you said, go out there in person and help. But most of the time, we can resolve it over the phone. We use our engineering staff to help out a lot when it comes to really, we're in a bind. But it could be difficult because you're right. Not necessarily, when I say common calls are electrical, they can be thousands of different electrical calls.
Right.
So
It's not just like plug it in.
Yes, right.
It's a little
It's
something
the IT thing. Did you restart it or jump plug it?
Hit it on the side, something like that.
Sometimes that works, but not most of the time for us.
Not recommended. Don't do that. There's a better way.
Yeah.
I'm sure you get some just wild calls or something. Is there anything that just kind of jumps to the forefront of your mind when we think about that you're like, oh my, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard, whether it's a rat built a nest in an engine somewhere. Like, I don't even know if that's wild or if that's common, but what jumps out to you?
That is common. Bird's nest, you know, hey, my engine had a thermal event. Well, there's a bird nest on top of the DOC.
That's official, yeah.
We've had some good customer ones, okay? Some knockdown, drag out, bad words. Thank God we don't sit by HR kind of thing. But I would say the craziest one time is we got a call. It came from a dealer. Yeah. So I apologize if the dealer hears this, but if they remember.
Hopefully not.
Can the customer use their vac to suck up gas?
No.
It's like, absolutely not.
Right.
So
do not do that.
Yeah. But then we get the phone call back that said, can they suck up the dirt that the gas was on? Absolutely not.
Right.
Still fumes.
Yeah. The fumes are the bad part.
So so that's probably the most bizarre call.
Well, that's interesting though, because to me, that's not really a like, hey, we're down and need to get up and running. That's a, can we do something with this machine? So is that common? Not necessarily that specific example, but do you guys get calls about what the machines can do? What can we do without them?
Yeah, the capabilities.
That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on how wide can I make the digging chain? How far can I bore out? Stuff like that. Yeah, we get those too.
Again, we started this off with the less work that you and your team do, the better. Do you guys get calls every day? Every second of every day? Like how busy are the 12 guys on your staff?
So we have a 1-800 number queue that our dealers call.
Okay.
And that averages about anywhere from 40 to 50 calls a day.
Okay.
And then these guys take about probably I'd say 40 to 50 cell phone personal calls because they have a territory.
Is that how it's broken down? Territory? I was thinking that you'd have like a product support guy that's over SKs or compact equipment and a product support guy that's over drills, but it's like, hey, you're over this region.
Yep. It's challenging because it's a broad equipment line.
Right.
But so they have a territory and they're over all the product, orange iron wise and hammerhead moles. But yeah, so you're looking at probably the whole group probably takes 100 calls a day with cell phone calls and the queue.
That's busy.
And there is text, there is emails.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you're talking supporting the brand worldwide. So
a phone rings at 3:00 in the morning. You can't say, I'll check that at 8.
Well, unless you're sleeping and you don't hear it, right?
Yeah, I got you.
So
you wake up to like 6 missed calls from the same number in New Zealand. You went, uh-oh.
Yeah.
We probably better call them right back.
Most of the time, those guys usually like to email. And then I've been able to hear my phone ding at 3:00 in the morning and it's an email.
I got you. Oh. Cool deal, man. I appreciate you kind of walking us through what you do, what your team does, and how important the services that you guys provide to the division are. But we like to kind of wrap these up with just kind of a lighthearted, random question of the day. And I know you and I got to know each other quite a bit on the golf course.
Yep.
Right? I mean, even over the last year or so, we've played in several tournaments together. From your experience with golfing, where is your favorite golf course?
Ooh. So the one I've played.
Yeah,
right?
you have to have
played it.
Right.
Because obviously the easy answer is Augusta, right?
Yeah.
Hit the easy button.
Have you been there, by the way?
I have. I got a funny story. You got a minute.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, I think I'm good.
Okay.
I got a minute.
So I had the territory when I first came into product support of the Southeast, and I had Georgia, obviously. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to go out to Savannah, Georgia from Atlanta. And I said, well, I'm going to go ahead and trek over another 45 minutes to Augusta. I got to, right?
You have to, yeah.
So I'm driving over there, and it finally there's a Waffle House, a Holiday Inn, and then bam, there's Augusta National.
Yeah.
It's like, really?
I know, that's crazy. I've never been there, but I've heard Augusta's just like,
it's like
nice
a
little city.
town.
We love Augusta, Georgia. But yeah, it's just like a little place, but then there's just a mecca of golf there, right?
Yeah. Well, then the mecca is the wall.
Yeah.
Because I was like, can I drive in? Can I see it?
Yeah.
Can I? No, I drove all the way around the mile section.
Can't see
all you
through
see
the
is a
wall.
green wall.
Yeah, nice.
And so I was like, well, screw this. So I went ahead and took the rental car, and I'm talking probably, I would say 20 feet from the gate
Right.
to the road. And it's like a 4-lane highway that runs in front of it. And so I just whipped the freaking rental car sideways so I can at least try to get a pic of of Magnolia Lane.
Right, yeah, it's iconic.
Yeah, I was gonna stand on the hood of the car and try to get it over the top, but I got T-Rex arms and that wasn't working. I make fun of all them people for selfie sticks. I wanted a selfie stick at that
point,
moment.
you wish you had one.
But I would say the best course I have played is in the Sand Hills in North Carolina.
Okay.
It's Sanford, North Carolina. It's called Tobacco Road.
Tobacco Road.
It's freaking amazing.
The course is called Tobacco Road?
Yes.
I thought you were going to say like the links at Stillwater Golf and Country Club was your favorite place.
No. It's
That's
in
a
North
nice
Carolina.
place. Yeah. Karsten Creek didn't make your list?
They're second.
Yeah, it's right there. It's a good one.
But it's just, we've played, obviously you've played it with me, and we've played Karsten Creek probably a dozen times. And But the one I've played once, it's just very, very, I mean, Sand Hills, it's kind of like that Pinehurst feel.
Awesome. Well, next time you go out there, take me with you.
Yeah. Maybe we can go to Pinehurst Old Number 2.
Yes. If anybody has connections out there, you let Simon and I know.
There you go.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you hopping on today.
Yeah, man.
I think it's been a good conversation. So with that, I think we were going to go ahead and sign off. So next time, make sure you catch us, and we'll be talking all things Ditch Witch. See y'all later. Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for this week's episode of Beyond the Moon. Be sure to subscribe to this podcast on your favorite platform and follow us on social media @DitchWitch.